Canaanite religion, beliefs from the ancient Near East today. We're exploring the ancient world of Canaanite religion, a belief system that shaped the people of the ancient Levant and influenced the development of major religious traditions like Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. Let's take a deep dive into the gods, myths, and practices of the Canaanites, and discover how their religion played a central role in their daily lives and culture. What was Canaanite religion? Canaanite religion was the religious practice of the people who lived in the ancient land of Canaan, which roughly corresponds to modern-day Israel, Palestine, Lebanon, Syria, and parts of Jordan. This polytheistic belief system was marked by the worship of a pantheon of gods and goddesses, each responsible for different aspects of life, from fertility to war to the harvest. The Canaanites believed that the natural world was controlled by these gods, and their rituals were aimed at ensuring the prosperity of their cities, crops, and families. These beliefs were deeply intertwined with their culture, politics, and social organization. The pantheon, gods and goddesses at the heart of Canaanite religion, was a diverse and complex pantheon. The gods were often associated with natural forces and were believed to have influence over various aspects of life. Some of the key deities included El, the chief god and creator deity, often considered the father of the gods. El was associated with the sky, wisdom, and judgment. Baal, one of the most important gods in Canaanite religion, Baal was the god of storm, rain, fertility, and agriculture. His power was seen as vital for ensuring the success of crops and harvests. Asherah, the mother goddess, often considered the consort of El. She was linked to fertility, motherhood, and the nurturing aspects of nature. Astarte, or Ashtoreth, a goddess of love, war, and fertility, Astarte was often invoked for protection in battle as well as for ensuring the fertility of women in the land. Moloch, a god associated with child sacrifice, particularly during times of crisis. Worship of Moloch is infamous for the extreme and controversial rituals linked to it. Yam, the god of the sea and chaos, often depicted as an antagonist to the other gods, particularly Baal. His battles with Baal were central to Canaanite myth. These gods were often worshipped in local shrines or high places, such as mountaintops, where sacrifices and offerings were made. Creation and cosmic struggles. Canaanite myths. The Canaanites had a rich tradition of mythological stories that explain the creation of the world, the role of gods in shaping existence, and the ongoing cosmic battles between order and chaos. Some of the most significant myths include the myth of Baal's victory over Yam. This story centers around Baal's battle with Yam, the chaotic god of the sea. Baal's triumph over Yam was seen as a victory for order and fertility, ensuring the continued prosperity of the land. It symbolized the constant struggle between life and chaos. The death and resurrection of Baal. Baal's eventual death and resurrection were seen as symbolic of the cycles of nature, particularly the cycles of the seasons and the agricultural year. Baal's death represented winter or drought, and his resurrection symbolized the return of spring, rain, and fertility. The creation of the world. The Canaanite creation myth tells how the world was shaped by the gods from chaos, often featuring gods like El and Baal bringing order and form to the earth. These myths were not just stories but served as metaphors for understanding life, death, and the cyclical nature of the seasons. Rituals and practices. Rituals were a central part of Canaanite religion, and they were designed to honor the gods, seek their favor, and maintain cosmic order. Some of the key practices included sacrifices. The Canaanites performed animal sacrifices, often at high places or open-air sanctuaries. These sacrifices were intended to nourish the gods and ensure their continued blessing. Libations and offerings. Offerings of food, wine, incense, and grain were made to the gods in order to gain their favor, especially for the harvest or fertility. These rituals were conducted by priests or religious leaders. Sacred high places. Worship often took place on mountaintops or elevated areas, where altars and sacred stones were erected. These high places were seen as closer to the divine realm, allowing for a more direct connection with the gods. Divination. Canaanites also practiced forms of divination, such as reading omens, astrology, and the use of ritual objects to understand the will of the gods. The role of temples and priests. Temples played an important role in Canaanite religion, especially for the worship of major gods like Baal and Asherah. Priests, often from the royal or elite classes, oversaw the religious ceremonies and were thought to have a direct connection with the divine. They would lead rituals, interpret omens, and mediate between the gods and the people. Unlike many other ancient religions, there were no large-scale temples dedicated to every god. Worship was often conducted at local shrines or sacred places, and priests served the community by ensuring that the gods' needs were met. Legacy and influence. The influence of Canaanite religion is profound, particularly in how it influenced the religious practices of neighboring cultures. Many elements of Canaanite religion, such as the worship of gods associated with fertility, storm deities like Baal, and the themes of divine kingship, were later adopted or adapted by other cultures in the ancient Near East, including the Israelites, Phoenicians, and Egyptians. One of the most notable legacies of Canaanite religion is its impact on biblical traditions. The worship of Baal, for example, is frequently mentioned in the Hebrew Bible, where the Israelites are warned against adopting Canaanite religious practices. These conflicts between Israelite monotheism and Canaanite polytheism were significant in shaping the religious identity of ancient Israel. Why Canaanite religion matters. Canaanite religion provides valuable insights into how ancient peoples understood their relationship with nature, the divine, and the cosmos. Its gods and myths influenced not only the development of neighboring religions but also the way that early civilizations viewed concepts like life, death, and fertility. Even though the religion eventually faded, the Canaanite gods and their stories continue to shape the understanding of ancient spirituality and the roots of modern religious traditions. Canaanite religion was a vibrant and complex belief system that revolved around the worship of powerful gods, engaging myths, and rituals designed to maintain cosmic order. Though it eventually gave way to other religions, its influence remains embedded in the spiritual and cultural history of the ancient Near East. If you found this exploration of Canaanite religion fascinating, make sure to like, subscribe Finite Planet, and join us for more deep dives into the ancient world. See you next time.